Welcome to the deep dive.
Glad to be here.
This is where we really dig into the sources you provide, finding those key insights.
Exactly. And today, it's just one source, but wow, it packs a punch.
Right, 2 Chronicles chapter 34.
Yeah, it's this amazing story. You've got a king starting super young, a lost book suddenly turning up, and how that discovery just, well, changes everything for the nation.
Okay, sounds dramatic. Let's dive right in. Where does it all begin?
It starts with King Josiah taking the throne in Jerusalem.
And he was very young.
Incredibly young, just 8 years old, according to the text.
8. Wow. That's a lot of pressure for a kid.
For sure. But he reigns for a long time, 31 years, and despite his age starting out, the source makes a point about his character almost immediately.
What does it say?
It says, he did what was right in the eyes of the Lord and walked in the ways of his father David, not turning aside to the right or to the left.
Okay, so right from the get-go, he's positioned as, well, committed to a certain path, not deviating.
Exactly. Even inheriting what must have been, pretty messy situation.
Yeah.
And he doesn't waste time.
He starts young.
Yeah, even as a teenager. In his 8th year as king, so he's only 16, it says he began to seek the God of his father David.
So, a personal thing first, not like big public reforms yet.
It seems that way, like an internal turning first.
Yeah.
But that definitely sets the stage.
Okay, because what comes next is pretty major.
Oh, yeah. Fast forward 4 years, he's 20 now, 12th year of his reign. And he goes from seeking to, well, acting. He began to purge Judah and Jerusalem.
Purge, that sounds intense.
It was. This wasn't a gentle suggestion. The text paints a picture of pretty forceful destruction of idolatrous practices.
Like what specifically?
Tearing down altars to the Baals of these other gods and cutting down the incense altars above them, smashing the Asherah poles, those carved images, and other idols and images. He broke them all into pieces.
They're really thorough.
And listen to this detail. He didn't just break them, he ground them up and scattered the pieces over the graves of those who had sacrificed to them.
Whoa, that's symbolic. A complete break.
Definitely. Connecting the idol's fate to the worshipper's legacy. And he didn't stop at objects.
What else?
He went after the priests involved in that worship. It says he burned the bones of the priests on their altars.
Goodness, that's a very strong statement. Defiling their altars completely.
Utterly. The text says this is how he purged Judah and Jerusalem. A real cleansing.
And did this stay just in Jerusalem and Judah?
Nope. He actually extended it. Went into the territories of the former northern kingdom, Manasseh, Ephraim, Simeon, even way up north to Naphtali.
So way beyond his own kingdom's borders.
Right. Essentially trying to cleanse the whole historical land of Israel, tearing down altars, crushing idols everywhere, before heading back to Jerusalem.
Okay, so he's made this huge physical statement against idolatry by his early 20s. What's the next big phase in Jerusalem?
We jump to his 18th year as king. He's 26 now. And the focus shifts a bit.
From destruction to
restoration. He sends top officials, Shaphan, Mazziah, Karda, their mission, to purify the land and the temple, and to repair the temple of the Lord his God.
Fixing up the temple. That sounds like a massive project. How'd they fund it?
Well, the officials went to Hilkiah, the high priest, and the money, it says, had been collected by the Levites, the temple workers, acting as doorkeepers.
Collected from who?
From people all over. Manasseh, Ephraim, the rest of Israel, plus Judah, Benjamin, Jerusalem. A really wide base of support, it seems.
So people across the land are chipping in, and this money goes to supervisors.
Exactly. Entrusted to guys overseeing the work, who then paid the actual workers, carpenters, builders.
What kind of shape was the temple in? What needed doing?
They were buying dressed stone and timber for joists and beams. The source says specifically it was for buildings the previous kings had allowed to fall into ruin.
So, serious neglect. Structural repairs needed.
Definitely sounds like it. And the text makes a point of saying the workers did the job faithfully.
Sounds like a well-run operation.
It seems organized. It even names some Levite supervisors, Jahath, Obadiah, Zechariah, Meshullam. And interestingly, Temple A mentions Levites skilled in music were helping manage the laborers. Others were scribes, secretaries, a whole team effort.
Okay, so picture this. The temple repairs are underway. Everyone's focused on the physical work, managing funds. And then something completely unexpected happens.
This is the real turning point. While they're bringing out the money from the temple treasury, Hilkiah the priest finds something.
Not just spare change, I take it.
Not at all. He found the book of the law of the Lord that had been given through Moses.
Wait, the book of the law? Like the foundational text just found?
Seems like it. Lost, forgotten, maybe tucked away during all the previous chaos, and rediscovered during essentially a renovation and audit.
That's incredible. Found while counting cash?
Pretty much. Hilkiah clearly knew what he had. He immediately tells Shaphan, the secretary overseeing the money, I found the book of the law in the temple. And he gives it to him.
So Shaphan takes it to King Josiah.
Yes, but there's a neat little detail. Shaphan first gives the king an update on the temple. Yep, it's going well. Workers are getting paid. Like, business first.
Get the admin done before the massive revelation.
Right. And then he says, oh, by the way, Hilkiah the priest gave me this book. And Shaphan starts reading from it right there to the king.
You have to wonder what was going through Josiah's mind, hearing these words possibly for the first time ever.
His reaction tells us everything. The text is simple but powerful. When the king heard the words of the law, he tore his robes.
The classic sign of, what, deep grief, repentance?
Exactly. Not just mild concern. A profound physical reaction showing deep distress. He got it immediately.
He didn't just sit on that feeling, though, did he?
No way. He instantly commands a delegation, Hilkiah, Shaphan, a few others, go and inquire of the Lord for me and for the remnant in Israel and Judah about what is written in this book.
So he wants to know the implications. What does this mean for us now?
Precisely. And he already suspects it's not good news for them historically. He says, great is the Lord's anger, because our fathers have not kept the word of the Lord. They have not acted in accordance with all that is written in this book.
Wow. He connects the dots immediately. Their history, the law's demands, God's anger. He takes ownership.
Remarkable self-awareness for a leader, especially a relatively young one. So this group goes off to inquire.
And who do they consult? Another priest?
No, they go to Huldah the prophetess.
Interesting. A woman delivering God's message on this.
Yeah, the text mentions she was the wife of the keeper of the wardrobe, lived in the 2nd district of Jerusalem. Just highlights that divine insight can come from maybe unexpected people.
So what message does Huldah have from the Lord?
It's kind of a two-parter. First, a message about the place and the people generally, Judah and Jerusalem.
And that was?
Pretty much confirming Josiah's fears. Disaster is coming. All the curses written in the book, she says. Why? Because they have forsaken me, burned incense to other gods, provoked me to anger. The consequence. God's anger will be poured out and will not be quenched.
So judgment is set for the nation. That's heavy.
Very. But then there's a second part, a specific message just for Josiah.
And that offered something different.
Completely different, yeah. A message of personal reprieve. God says to Josiah, through Huldah, basically, because your heart was responsive, you humbled yourself, you tore your robes, you wept when you heard of the judgment, I have heard you.
So God acknowledged Josiah's personal reaction. His humility mattered.
Explicitly. It links God's favorable response directly to Josiah's genuine repentance and distress upon hearing the law. It's quite powerful. Individual response counts, even amid national failure.
And what was the specific outcome for him?
Huldah tells him he'll be gathered to his ancestors in peace. Your eyes will not see all the disaster I'm going to bring on this place. He'd be spared personally from witnessing the nation's judgment.
Wow. So national doom is locked in, but personal grace is possible based on response. That's a lot to take back to the king.
You bet. The delegation delivers this complex news. Judgment is coming, but not for you personally, not in your lifetime.
How does Josiah handle that? Knowing judgment is coming, but he'll miss it.
He doesn't just retreat into personal relief. He goes big. Calls together all the elders, all the leaders.
Okay.
But then goes even bigger. Gathers everyone, the men of Judah, the people of Jerusalem, the priests and the Levites, all the people from the least to the greatest. Takes them all up to the temple.
The whole community. And what happens there?
He reads the book to them. He read in their hearing all the words of the book of the covenant. Make sure everyone hears these foundational words that had impacted him so deeply.
And
Then, standing in a prominent place, probably by a specific pillar, he personally renewed the covenant in the presence of the Lord.
what did that involve? What did he pledge?
Total commitment. To follow God, keep the commands found in this book with all his heart and all his soul. He's publicly binding himself to live by this rediscovered law.
And he brings the people along.
Yes, he had everyone in Jerusalem and Benjamin pledge themselves to it. They commit, too, aligning themselves with this covenant. It's a national recommitment ceremony, basically.
Sparked by finding that book And did this lead to more changes?
Oh yeah, a final, intense wave of reform. He gets rid of all the remaining detestable idols throughout all Israelite territory, finishes the purge,
Right. Cleans house completely.
and makes sure everyone present in Israel starts serving the Lord, actively redirecting their worship based on the covenant.
And the chapter ends by noting the impact of all this.
It does. It gives this powerful summary. As long as he lived, they did not fail to follow the Lord, the God of their fathers. His leadership, ignited by that discovery, kept the nation on track for his entire reign.
Wow. That really is quite a journey in one chapter. A young king's commitment, the accidental discovery, the terrifying prophecy, the personal grace, and then this huge national renewal.
It really shows how something seemingly practical, like, fixing a building, can uncover something foundational that changes everything.
And how facing up to difficult truths, like the curses in the book, and responding with genuine humility can actually lead to, well, personal peace, even if the bigger picture is grim.
Absolutely. And it underlines the sheer impact a leader's conviction can have, driving national change for decades. You really feel the weight of history in this account.
It definitely makes you think. Which leads us to our final thought for you listening.
Building on this story of finding something vital that was lost, what forgotten book of the law, what foundational truth or principle, maybe neglected or just overlooked, might be waiting to be rediscovered and acted upon in your world or maybe your own life today.